You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it. And then y'all wonder what happened. See, remember when I was on the air on ESPN and I got into it with Monica McNutt?
This was never meant to unfold this way. The WNBA was surging forward. Caitlin Clark owned the moment, until the commissioner intervened. What followed stunned audiences, fractured the league, and drove Stephen A. Smith past his limit because critics said this stopped being guidance. It became dominance. And when Caitlin Clark was sidelined, cautioned, and subtly squeezed, Stephen A. Smith detonated. Watch closely because this chapter reveals what the league fears confronting. Behind every ruling, power lurks. And here, every accusation circled a single office. The WNBA commissioner, fans sensed something felt off. Caitlin Clark. Restricted movement, relentless monitoring, then sudden quiet from above. No open backing, no firm defense, only hushed cautions behind sealed doors while tension simmered. Stakes escalated, careers trembled, alliances...
Accuse me of that, right? No problem. Then we go on to acknowledge there are many others who didn't do enough of a job of promoting the WNBA. You know why we didn't do a better job of promoting the WNBA? Because the numbers, the eyeballs, the interest, the sizzle, the headlines were not there. No one cared. The public didn't care. And so now you have somebody, that has the world caring, and you say to her, well, you know what? We want to make purely basketball decisions.
And when a league's brightest icon needs shielding, quiet turns into a signal. Then arrived the benching, not merely strategy, but a warning. Audiences stared stunned as Caitlin Clark remained seated while the moment begged for her. The building shifted, the pulse faded, and supporters asked the unavoidable question. Why does it seem like the league feels threatened to be its own phenomenon? Stephen A. Smith sensed too, and he despised what unfolded. Whispers started spreading, never stamped official, yet loud enough to reverberate everywhere that Caitlin Clark had been cautioned about conduct, about optics, about carrying the league. Stephen A. Smith challenged it instantly on air without hesitation whatsoever.
Always been nothing but class and nice to me. I'm only addressing a point. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players and not one of them is Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, as a rookie, is leading the league in assists? How do you do that? How do you do that? I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst. The two of them together, oh my God, that's an A team. No doubt about it. Nothing but...
Why does the league rush to punish, but drag its feet to protect? Why does fire and intensity turn into a problem the moment it comes from the player boosting the ratings? That's when Stephen A. stopped pretending. Stephen A. Smith didn't come for Caitlin Clark. He went after the whole system. He accused the commissioner of playing a reckless game. Instead of elevating the league's greatest asset, she was monitoring her. Instead of embracing the surge, she feared it. Stephen A. made it blunt. You don't threaten the star carrying the entire league. You don't muzzle the player filling stadiums.
It is so unfortunate that the WNBA has dropped the ball in this major way. I already showed you Stephon Diggs and all the NFL players getting custom Caitlin Clark cleats. All the NBA players on the Pelicans rocking the shoes. I already showed you Caitlin Clark is...
And you certainly don't pretend to be surprised when the crowd fights back. The backlash hit immediately. Fans weren't puzzled anymore. They saw the blueprint. Hard fouls brushed aside. Rough play tolerated. Caitlin took it all. But the second she responded, she was the one punished. Stephen A. Smith spoke the unspoken truth out loud. The commissioner seemed more at ease managing Caitlin Clark than defending her.
So much for women's basketball everywhere that deserved their praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up. Call it the Great White Hope. Call it white being right. Call it whatever you want. See, I'm a person that doesn't, I recognize that reality, but I don't resent it. I figure out ways to do it to my advantage. I ain't apologize for that, Wes. I ain't apologize for that, Grip. I ain't apologize for that, Galen. I ain't apologize for nothing. There are people in our industry.
And that's where the trust shattered. No formal statement, no press briefing, but the rumor began to spread. Quit. Stephen A. Smith made one thing crystal clear. This wasn't Caitlin Clark walking away from basketball. This was what happens when a player feels trapped, when creativity is punished, when freedom becomes dangerous. Stephen A. warned the commissioner, push too hard and stars don't fight back, they shut down. And once that happens, you've already lost. Instead of cooling the fire, the league tightened its hold. And Stephen A. Smith said that was the fatal error.
Oh, how she feel about Aerial Powers and the new players, the Shea Petties that came in. And it seemed like the overall energy and the overall vibe was good. You know, like there was no anger, there was no animosity and all of this stuff. And it seems that Caitlin Clark did enjoy the people, and she, as much as we don't like the higher ups in the front office in Indiana, it seems like Caitlin Clark doesn't have a issue with them. You know what I mean? So I think that might be something we just gonna have to look. We gonna have to give them this off season. We just gotta let them do it. We just have, like, Caitlin seems okay with it. She seems okay with everything. So I don't know, you know, I guess we just gotta let it play out. We gotta let it play out, and that's just that. That's just that. You know, if she not tripping, I guess we can't necessarily.
You can't build a league by shrinking its loudest voice. You can't demand loyalty while giving none. And you absolutely can't threaten suspension when fans are already questioning who's running the show. Stephen A. Smith didn't just critique, he publicly put the commissioner on blast, hard, unapologetically. This story isn't finished, but the warning is unmistakable. Caitlin Clark isn't the issue. The fear of losing control is. And Stephen A. Smith made one thing impossible to ignore. If the WNBA commissioner keeps treating stars like liabilities instead of leaders, the league won't pay in headlines, it'll pay in silence.